Today, Thai Parliament approved 500 billion baht borrowing to fight COVID-19. The House of Representatives approved an executive decree authorizing the Finance Ministry to borrow up to 500 billion baht for the fight against the pandemic, assistance for people affected by the disease, and for economic rehabilitation. The decree passed the first reading in the House after 2 days of debate, with 270 votes in favor and 196 against, with one abstention and 2 who refused to vote. The loan is divided into 30 billion baht for the Ministry of Public Health for its efforts to contain the pandemic, 300 billion baht for the rehabilitation of people affected by the pandemic, and 170 billion baht for business rehabilitation. Finance Minister Akom Termpittaya told Member of Parliament that since the first wave of pandemic last year, the government has rolled out several economic stimulus packages to help the people at the grassroots level in particular and businesses in order to boost domestic consumption and to keep the economy running. But regarding concerns raised over rising public debt, the finance minister said that under the current abnormal situation, the limit of public borrowing, which is capped at 60% of GDP, may need to be reconsidered, with the ability of a country to service the debt to be taken into consideration. Meanwhile, Finance Permanent Secretary Grisada Jina Vicharana said that with the House approval of the previous 1 trillion baht borrowing executive decree, Thailand's economic growth rate will contract by 6.3%, smaller than instead of 8.3% projected by the World Bank or 7.7% projected by the IMF earlier. So before the vote today, Pheu Thai Member of Parliament of Nan Province, Dr. Cholanan Sikeo, took the floor to say that he does not think the government's attempts to fight COVID-19 pandemic is on the national agenda, as claimed by the government. In his opinion, he said it is a national burden due to the government's incompetence in handling the contagion, as evident in the poor management of vaccine procurement and mass inoculation. He said if the government were a doctor, their license would have been revoked a long time ago. Dr. Chonan said that 500 billion baht borrowing should only be used to fight the contagion within 1 year, while all the other 40,000 economic rehabilitation projects proposed for 500 billion baht borrowing should be set aside and implemented with funding from the normal budget. He then urged members of the public to take legal action against the Prime Minister for his alleged complete failure to address the pandemic, causing deaths and damage to the people.